Hi, and welcome back to my channel. This is the book review portion of my YouTube channel, Teresa Travel by Books. And the book I would like to review today is The Nightblood Prince by Molly X. Chang. Let's take a moment to admire this gorgeous dust jacket cover art. It's been some time since I have seen a book with cover art this beautiful. And for that, we have the artist Emily Chang to thank. I will need to refer to my notes for this review as the Nightblood Prince plot is unnecessarily complicated. So let us begin. Faye had been betrothed to Si Wang, the Prince of Wrong, and the Emperor's son since they were both infants. So Faye was taken from her mother's arms and raised in the imperial palace, and there she lived a life of luxury. But Faye was never happy because she felt as if she never had true freedom. She felt constrained by the restrictions placed on her and by the behaviors expected of her as a future empress. Faye was born with a phoenix mark upon her brow, and a prophecy was spoken on the night of her birth. A fallen goddess who bears the phoenix's mark is destined to rule a united Anlu. And because Faye bears the phoenix mark, the emperor intends to keep Faye close and protected until she marries his son. But although Faye and Si Wang have been companions and best friends all of their lives, Faye doesn't want the traditional roles of marriage and motherhood. She craves freedom to choose her own life. When she sneaks out of the palace to go out at night to hunt the fearsome baying tiger, she encounters Lan Ishua, a prince of a neighboring kingdom, who is a ward, think hostage, of the emperor. As they are talking, a tiger attacks and Faye pushes Ishua out of the way, and although she kills the tiger by driving her dagger through its eye, she suffers serious injury. Ishua finds shelter for them in a nearby cave and treats Faye's injuries. He persuades Faye to drink the blood from a self-inflicted cut upon his palm, which gives her a feeling of greater strength and vitality. Si Wang, in the meanwhile, and his guardsmen have ridden out searching for Faye. When he finds her with Ishua, he attacks, and Ishua demonstrates unusual speed, strength, and agility and kills all of the guardsmen. When he looks to Faye, expecting her to be impressed, she stabs him with a sword and rides away with Si Wang. Back at the palace, Faye goes before the emperor and demands that her betrothal be annulled. The emperor, in his understandable anger, banishes Faye and her birth family to a small, humble village far from the capital. In addition to bearing the phoenix mark, Faye has visions of the future. She has long seen the downfall of the city of Anlu in destruction and blood. She thinks that maybe if she didn't become the empress, that she would have broken the prophecy and that by so doing, she could prevent war and bloodshed. But she doesn't count on the actions of Lan Ishua, who, having survived her sword attack, has returned home and is preparing an army to seek revenge for his treatment at the imperial palace. The emperor's envoy rides out into the countryside and announces that all men over a certain age will be conscripted into the army, and Faye's father receives his notice. Faye's father is not in good health. Here the story becomes a retelling of Mulan, wherein Faye disguises herself as a young man, steals her father's enlistment notice, and enrolls in the army. Once in the army encampment, Faye is reunited with Si Wang, who sees through her disguise immediately, and after much smirking and lip twitching, Faye decides that she does indeed love Si Wang, and a romantic interlude takes place in Si Wang's tent, with his guard standing outside, and remember that everyone in the camp believes that Faye is a young boy. Shortly afterwards, Faye is spirited away in the night by Ishua, and taken to his city so that Faye can see that his people are happy and that he is not the monster that everyone believes him to be. When she returns, the book draws to a swift conclusion in which Faye pushes to have Siwang sign a peace treaty. After the climactic battle of the story, Faye is given an army of her own with which to patrol the border and maintain the terms of the peace treaty. The book ends with a clear indication that there will be a sequel, but by the time I finished reading The Nightblood Prince, I really didn't care. I cannot recommend this book to anyone much over the age of 12 or 13 because you would have to be that young and that inexperienced to believe this plot and the many contradictory thoughts and emotions that Faye experiences. I became really tired of her indecision as to which of these young men that she actually preferred. And the book's ending does leave that in some doubt. So unless you just want a admittedly beautiful book to adorn your bookshelves, I do not recommend The Nightblood Prince. Thank you for watching.